So I've been diving deep into family SUVs lately, and I stumbled across something that's got me genuinely excited. The Ford Expedition Active. And look, I know what you're thinking. Another SUV review, right? But hear me out, because this one's actually different in some pretty cool ways. So picture this. You're planning that family road trip you've been putting off forever. You know, the one where you want to hit a few national parks, maybe do some light off-roading to get to those scenic overlooks. But you also need something that's not going to make your daily commute miserable. That's exactly where the Expedition Active fits in. And Ford really seems to have thought this through. The first thing that caught my attention was just how much space this thing has. We're talking standard 8-passenger seating, which is huge when you've got a big family or you're always a designated driver for group trips. But here's what's clever. It's not just about cramming 8 people in there. Ford actually designed the seating to be functional. You get cloth seats as standard, and that second row is a 40 split bench manual reclining fold flat seat with center slide. That center slide feature is brilliant. It basically means that middle section can slide forward, so you can easily access the third row without climbing over anyone. And speaking of that third row, it's not just an afterthought like in some SUVs. You get a 60/40 power fold with power recline third row seat. So the people back there aren't going to hate you by the end of the long drive. I've been in too many 3-row SUVs where the back seats feel like punishment, but Ford seems to have actually considered that real humans might need to sit back there. Now, if you want to get fancy, there's an optional 7-passenger seating configuration. You can upgrade to ActiveX seating material instead of the standard cloth. And here's where it gets interesting. You can choose between second row 40 power folding tip and slide seats, or go with second row power folding tip and slide captain's chairs. Both are pretty sweet options that give everyone their own space and easy access to the third row. The driver and passenger seats are pretty impressive too. You get 10-way power driver with power tilt, lumbar, and power recline, plus an 8-way power passenger seats with power lumbar and power recline. If you want to get really fancy, there's an optional 10-way power driver with memory that includes power tilt, lumbar, and power recline, so you never have to readjust your perfect driving position. But let's talk about what's under the hood, because that's where things get interesting. Ford went with their 3.5L EcoBoost engine, which is the same basic power plant they've been perfecting for years. It comes with auto stop-start technology to help with fuel efficiency, and it's paired with a 10-speed select-shift automatic transmission. Honestly, that 10-speed might sound like overkill, but it keeps the engine in its sweet spot whether you're merging onto the highway or climbing mountain passes with full load. Now here's where the active trim starts to show its personality, the handling stuff. You get a fully box frame for strength, suspension multi-link independent rear suspension, and electronic power assist rack and pinion steering. The whole setup includes front and rear stabilizer bars, so it rides smooth on the highway, but doesn't get all wobbly when you're taking corners with 8 people and their luggage on board. The safety and control features are pretty comprehensive too. You get advanced track with RSC roll stability control, electronic stability control, trailer sway control, and traction control as standard. There's also hill start assist that included on both 4x2 and 4x4 models, plus hill descent control that's included on 4x4 models only. And here's something cool. You get an integrated trailer brake controller with heavy-duty trailer tow package as standard equipment. The really exciting part is the optional intelligent 4WD with terrain management system. Now, this isn't standard, but if you're someone who actually ventures off the beaten path, it's worth considering. The system can automatically send power where it needs to go, and that terrain management gives you different modes for different conditions. It's like having a knowledgeable co-pilot who knows exactly what to do whether you hit different terrain types. Speaking of capability, you also get options for different rear axle configurations. There's a non-limited slip 3.31 rear axle or a non-limited slip 3.73 rear axle, depending on what kind of towing and hauling you're planning to do. For wheels and tires, the standard setup is pretty thoughtful. You get 18-inch dark alloy painted aluminum wheels with an underbody-mounted full-size spare tire. Now here's what's interesting. If you go with a 4x2 model, you get P275, 65, or 18 all-season tires. But if you opt for 4x4, You get P265, 70 or 18 all-terrain tires BSW. Ford didn't just slap regular highway tires on the 4x4 version and call it good. Those all-terrains give you that extra grip and confidence when you do venture off pavement. If you want to get fancy, there are optional 20-inch carbonized gray aluminum wheels available. Now let's talk about the tech stuff, because this is where Ford really shows off. The centerpiece is this massive 24-inch panoramic instrument panel display, paired with a 13.2-inch center stack display. I know some people think big screens are just flashy, but when you're dealing with navigation, climate control, entertainment, and vehicle settings, having all that real estate actually makes everything easier to use. The Ford digital experience is pretty slick too. You get Ford Pass Connect with 5G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot standard, plus Sirius XM radio with 360L. The audio setup is AM, FM stereo, MP3 capable, with 6 speakers and speed-compensated volume. For charging, you get smart charging multimedia USB ports in the first row, 2 of them, and they're the newer C+C format. There are optional multimedia USB ports in the cargo area, 2 C ports, plus an optional wireless charging pad. One thing I really appreciate is how Ford thought about the practical stuff. You get beverage holders. There's an overhead console with sunglass holder, carpeted flooring, carpeted first and second row floor mats, and front and rear scuff plates. The comfort features are really well thought out too. You get a wrap power tilt, telescoping steering wheel with audio controls, illuminated entry system with theater dimming, auto dimming rear view mirror, and 4 12E power points. There's a rotary gear shift dial, which feels modern and saves space on the center console. You also get push button start, which is just convenient when your hands are full. For storage, there's a center console with armrest and covered media bin, plus coat hooks, 4 of them, with 2 in the second row and 2 in the third row. Smart charging multimedia USB ports first row and media hub give you 2 C+C ports, plus USB ports first row and instrument panel with another 2 C+C ports. The climate control is tri-zone electronic automatic temperature control, so the people in back aren't stuck with whatever temperature you prefer up front. There's even rear auxiliary manual climate controls for the third row, which is huge for keeping everyone comfortable. You also get a cabin particulate air filter, which is great for air quality. The safety features are comprehensive, and this isn't just checkbox stuff. You get front and rear parking sensors standard, plus a rear view camera and 360-degree camera. There's Pro Trailer Backup Assist and Pro Trailer Hitch Assist included with Ford Co. Pilot 360 2.0. The BLIS blind spot information system comes with cross-traffic alert and trailer coverage, which is incredibly useful when towing. For active safety, you get adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane centering assist, and predictive speed assist. There's auto high beam headlamp, plus a comprehensive lane keeping system that includes lane keeping assist, lane keeping alert, road edge protection, and driver alert. Pre-collision assist with emergency braking includes pedestrian detection, forward collision warning, and dynamic brake support. The structural safety is solid too. Dual stage front airbags, 3-point safety belts at all seating positions, safety canopy system that includes a third row and front seat side impact airbags. You get 4-wheel disc brakes with anti-lock brake system, individual tire pressure monitoring system, and SOS post-crash alert system. For exterior features, you get LED reflector headlamps with signature lighting, LED tail lamps, and configurable daytime running lamps. The power upper lift gate and power lower tailgate make loading easy, and you get roof rack side rails in black, plus running boards platform in black. The grille is carbon black molded in color surround with ebony painted bars, and there's a Class 4 trailer hitch receiver standard. Look, the Expedition Active isn't trying to be the most extreme off-road vehicle or the most luxurious SUV on the market. What it's trying to be is the vehicle that handles whatever life throws at you, without making you compromise on comfort, safety, or capability. Whether that's daily family hauling, weekend adventures, helping friends move, or that epic cross-country road trip you've been planning, it feels like Ford built this thing to say yes to all of it. And honestly, that's exactly what most families actually need.